Good morning to everyone and welcome to today's webinar. Apologies for the last 2 or 3 minutes I've been talking to myself. I forgot to start the broadcast, so hopefully everyone can hear me. So my name is Michael Kelly. I'm a technical sales engineer at Esri Ireland, and today I'm going to talk about a new application that has been released by Esri called Workforce. So I'm going to start by going through a couple of slides just to demonstrate what Workforce is used for, how it can be used, and then I'll have a couple of demos come the end that we'll just walk through them on a mobile device and in a browser. So Workforce lets you plan, manage, and complete workflows for all types of field activities. So you can use Workforce on your smartphone or a tablet, and you can receive and complete work assigned to you, inform others of your work status and location, and receive location-based notifications that amplify your productivity. Workforce integrates with other ArcGIS apps such as Navigator, Collector, and Server 123. So you can receive assignments through Workforce, navigate to them using Navigator, document their completion, and complete the tasks using Server 123 or Collector. They're built to be integrated. They're built to be used together, and they all integrate as necessary. So Workforce is part of the ArcGIS platform, so you can manage and assign location-based work to your field teams efficiently and monitor the status and location of your field workers using your GIS. So it's all really about field workforce optimization, being able to monitor your crew out in the field and plan and assign work accordingly. Then your workers will be out in the field. They will be able to receive notifications and assignments as you add them into the system. There's two main parts to Workforce. The first is the mobile app. This allows you to receive work assignments in the field, manage your workload more effectively, and coordinate with other field staff in the back office. So we'll go through this later on and what the interface is like on the mobile side of things. It's currently just available in the iOS store. It will be coming to Android relatively soon. So you can see a couple of screenshots there of the mobile app. So what you get initially is once you sign in, you'll be able to select your project and you'll get a list of all your assignments. So you'll be able to view these and complete them accordingly. You can organize it in whatever way you want. So for example, there are priorities that the assigner can set in an assignment task, and you'll be able to organize them as you need to. You'll be able to receive notifications when new assignments come in, and also when you get close to an assignment, it will notify you that you're close to that particular assignment. Now you can send notes then back to the back office to let them know how the job has gone. So the idea is that you'll have people in the office managing and monitoring assignments. So that'll be you'll have a manager there keeping an eye on staff, see where they are, see what tasks they're completing, and you'll be able to assign new tasks as they come in. You can integrate this with existing work schedule or CRM systems. And it'll allow you to create new work assignments. So these screenshots here are from the browser app that the manager would have, or the dispatcher. So this will allow you to assign work to your field teams and know who is there and what they're doing. Again, this is just a screenshot of the browser dispatcher app. So this is where you'll start to create your projects initially. So we'll go through that in the first demonstration. So you'd see here you have the ArcGIS administrator. So this is the dispatcher homepage. You'll be able to select what project you want to view, and then you'll be able to assign tasks to each of the field staff. You then have a dispatcher view of your staff, where they are, what tasks they have completed, what they are due to do, and they will be able to work with the existing apps in the platform as necessary. So you can see here in the middle, here, this is the workforce app, and so you'll use that to view what work you have to do. The idea is that then you'll use Navigator to get to where you want to go, and then you'll complete your tasks using Collector or Server 123. So the next thing I want to do is just go through some demonstrations. So I have 3 demonstrations. The first is how you get set up with Workforce, how you create assignments, and the second is just going through the mobile app and how it integrates with Navigator, Server 123, and Collector. And then I'm going to show you what's actually created in the back end when you create a project. Once we finish up these, I will go through any questions that you may have. So just give me 1 sec now. I'm gonna just change my screens here. So you can see here I'm on the Esri Ireland website, and we have a web page dedicated to Workforce. So if you want to find out more information, read up on it, you can check out that. So that's at esri-ireland.ie /workforce, and that goes through a lot of the things I mentioned in the slides. So I'll get a start. I'm going to go to the Workforce application. So you can get to this by going to workforce.arcgis.com and sign in. So I'm going to log in with my Esri Ireland account. And I'm going to create a new project. So I'm going to name this project Tree Inspections Mobile Workforce. So we're going to go ahead and inspect trees. I'm just going to give it a wee description so we know what it is. Yeah, so it's going to be used to monitor and assign tasks to staff in the field. So we'll let Workforce do its thing, and this will create a project. Okay, so I'm going to add a couple of assignment types. So that's the first step that we need to do. So I'm going to add four different assignment types. The first is going to be report a broken tree, and so I want the field staff to check for this broken tree and deal with that. The second assignment is I'm going to assign task where trees need to be cut back. So I'll add that. And I'm actually collecting data as well. So another task is to use server 123 for collection. And then I'm going to create another one for collector. So then I'm going to need to add some mobile workers to this. So at the moment I'm the project owner, so I'm what's known as the dispatcher. I'm going to add a couple of other people, so I'm going to add Dermot, and he's going to be working in the field. I'm going to add some details about Dermot, his contact number, his job title. So he's going to be a tree fixer. And I'm going to put in some notes about his skills. So he has a special ability to reach tall trees from the ground. So you can see here those details are added in as necessary. I'm going to add myself then as well. So I have an account, Michael Kelly Demo. I'm going to be a mobile worker as well. I'm also going to add I have two accounts in AGOL, but I'm going to add my other account as well. Not sure what I'm logged in as. So again, you can add in details about your contact number. I'm good at climbing trees. And I'll save that. So I think we're good to go now. So I'm going to add just one more. I'm going to add Dermot in as a dispatcher as well. So there we go, and that's everything added. Now you don't have to add a second dispatcher, but you can add in as many as needs be. So from there I'm going to open the project, and you can see you just have an empty map, and we've created no assignments so far. If you go into, there's two tabs here, one for assignments, one for workers. So you can see that there's 3 workers here, so we're just after assigning them. And you can see that they're all offline at the moment. So I'm going to add some assignments. I'm going to zoom in first. So I'm looking at the Phoenix Park here. And I'm going to search for, I'm going to use a what 3 words location. So that's brought me to a tree in Phoenix Park. And I'm going to create an assignment here. So there's a report of a broken tree here, and it's affecting the traffic in the area. I'm going to give it a work order ID, and it's critical because it's blocking the road. I'm going to assign this to Dermot, and then I'm going to create the assignment. So you can see it's after adding in a point here, and you can click it. It will bring you your pop-up here, and then you can scroll back to your assignments. So I'm going to create one more assignment. This time I'm not going to use what 3 words. I'm just going to click the location. So you can see a tree here. I'm going to collect something with server 123, and it's medium because we're collecting information every day as we go. want to assign that to myself and create a work order ID. And I collect information about that tree. Okay, so we have 2 assignments there, 1, 2. They're both assigned to people. So you can, you can imagine, you could have quite a few assignments in here, but you can filter as you want to, using the status, date, priority, whoever it's assigned to, and you can sort them as needs be. Okay, so from there, I'm going to go to my mobile device now and just give you a look at what you can see from that side of things. So if you just give me 1 sec, I will get this up and running. Okay, so you can see there that it's very like for anyone who has used Explorer, it has that kind of same interface or similar interface, and you can go and look at whatever projects you have. Now, chances are most people will just have one project, but you may have more than one. So I'm going to refresh this and look for new projects because I'm just after creating a new project. And here's the one I'm just after creating. It's called Tree Inspections Mobile Workforce. So I've logged in using my ArcGIS online credentials. And there's my my assignment that I'm just after assigning to myself. So you can click into that, and that will give you all the details there about that particular assignment. There's a couple of different things here you can do. If you click in the bottom right corner, you have the option to start, finish, or decline the assignment. So I'm going to start the assignment. And so if you go back into Workforce then, if you go back into Workforce, you can see that my job has been started, so it has changed into a green dot. So you can add then notes as you do the job. I can say collection completed. And save that. So that note has been added to this particular point. And then I can click finish. Okay, so I have no assignments now because I'm after completing my assignment. So you can go on and view your completed assignments if needs be and review them. And so because I haven't actually done this, I'm going to reset it. And I'm going to start it again. And I'm actually going to go to, I want to navigate to where I need to go. So I'm going to navigate to this assignment. Please bear with my phone, it's a little bit slow. So what this is doing is it's just opening up Navigator. I think because my phone is quite old, it's struggling to do that. But it did work. It did work earlier on. What this does is it passes in the point. So I was assigned to do a task in a particular at a particular location. So what this has done is it's going to give you directions to that point. So you can see here. You can see that my point is over here, and it has navigated from where I am now, which is in Ashtown, in our offices in Ashtown, and it gives you directions to where you need to go. So you can set this to use walking distance or driving time, trucking time, whatever type of travel mode you were using. So I'm going to go back to Workforce. So I'm at my location now, and I want to collect some information in server 123. So I'm going to open up server 123. And open up my survey. Complete my survey. So I'm just using a survey that I created in one of the last webinars, and I'm going to send that. So that's my job done. I want to then go back to Workforce and finish my job. So this time I actually have completed it. So I'm just going to add in a little note that it's actually complete this time. I'm going to say server 123 used. And I'll save that and finish the job. So that's the general workflow with the app itself. As I'm assigned jobs, they will go into my to-do list and I'll get a notification. And if I come close to one of these assignments, then I will get a notification. So that's the mobile app. I'm going to go back out now. Just give me 1 sec, get out of this. And so you'll see there I've completed my job, so it has turned green. And you can see my note has come in there as well, so collection actually completed and server 123 used. So I'm just going to go back here. Okay, so we've set up a workforce project. We've created some new assignments. We've then looked at the mobile application and saw how it integrates with Navigator. Usually it's a bit quicker than that. It's just because my phone is quite old. And then you can work with server 123 and collector. So now I'm just going to quickly go through what's actually created and how you can work with the back end. So I'm going to go into my Esri Ireland account, and you'll see there's a folder after being created that is named the same as the project name. And so in here you have 4 layers, 2 web maps and a workforce project. So the workforce project is just basically a list of the 4 feature layers that are being used in the project. And the 2 web maps, one is used for the dispatcher view and the other one is used in the mobile application. So you can open up these web maps. So I'm going to open up the 2 of them. And so this is my dispatcher web map. So this is the same web map that we see here. So that's where I am. So monitors your location, and you can also see any assignments. But you can, because this is a web map, you can add in anything you want to this. So I'm going to actually add in the assignments again. So I'm going to show the layer details. And I'm going to add that in as a layer. So the layer will be in twice there. But I'm going to symbolize it a little bit differently. I'm just going to rename it first. So this is going to be assignments by worker. So I'm going to use an attribute. I'm going to use the worker ID because I want, for each assignment, I want to be able to have a different color for each worker. So I'm going to symbolize based on the type, and I'm going to change the outline so that I have purple. So that's going to be 30, 28 to 30 here. Right, 30. And so you can see there I have, for this worker here, you can see purple around any tasks assigned to him. And I'm going to do the same for the other worker. So he's going to be red. Okay, so there we go. So that's added in, and then for other workers, they want to be grey. I'll make them blue. Okay, so any new workers who are added in will be coloured blue, while the 2 existing workers are going to be coloured purple and red. So then I'm going to save the web map, and I'm going to save it at this extent. So that web map is saved. And if I go back into Workforce then and refresh the project, I'll be able to see the new layers added. So you can see the two layers, or the extra layer that I've added in. So you can add in labels if you want, anything like that. Anything you can do with a web map, you can add in here, and that can be particularly useful if you need other information, if you need to be able to view other information at the same time. So you'll notice here there's 4 feature layers. There's one for the workers, one for location, one for dispatchers, and one for assignments. I'm going to go into a previous project that I created just to give you an idea of what you can actually see. So the location of each worker is being tracked. So that's using the location. The location there. So I'm going to add that into this web map as well, just so you can see it. And you'll see here there's points kind of around the place. So this was when Dermot was going up to Belfast. You can see his tracks as you want to. So when this was done, it was configured to track his location every 30 seconds. You can configure that as you want. It obviously uses battery to track location, so every 30 seconds would use your battery a little bit, so just watch out for that. That can be edited in the web map. So if I go into the dispatcher's web map, I can edit that web map, and down the bottom here, sorry, it's not in that. Not in dispatchers, it must be in workers there. So it's in the workers web map. So down here you should be able to, okay, maybe not in that. Okay, so but anyway, you can set how often you want to track the location. I can't quite find it at the moment. So next thing I want to do is just give you a brief overview of the schema that's been used for this. So here's a picture of the schema that's been used. So so you have an assignments table. So these are all feature services, but most of them are. So you have your assignments, your workers, your dispatchers, and your location tracking. So they're the 4 different feature services that you've set up. You then have some domain set. So for priority, for assign type and assign status, you have domain set up. So for priority, you can set it as none, low, medium, high, or critical. For assignment type, they're added in as you create them. And for the status, then you have either offline, working on, or on break. So the worker in the field can either have the app turned off, which would come up as offline. By default, I think it's set as working once you open the app, but you can set it to be on break as well, so that will stop all the tracking, and the dispatcher will be able to see that that particular worker is on a break. So then for workers, you have a related table, and in the related table, that's where you can add in the contact number, any notes that are added by that particular user, their title, what what their number is, and you can use these within the app. So within the app you can click on, say, the dispatcher, and that will call that dispatcher based on the number in the application. Now, I believe the ability to add attachments as well is due to be added relatively soon. Okay, so there's the 3 demonstrations that I wanted to show. I'm just going to share my other screen. Okay, so we've gone through all the demonstrations, and so now we're on to questions and answers. So if anyone has any questions questions, just please add them into the questions panel in GoToWebinar. As it's a new project, we're keen to work with you guys, our customers, on this to prove its value. So if anyone is interested, please get in touch and we can organise a visit to discuss further. So I'm just going to have a look at the questions that are coming in. Okay, so we have lots of questions coming in anyway. Give me 1 second now until I have a look. So yeah, apologies about the sound at the start of the webinar. I forgot to start the broadcast and I was talking to myself, so apologies for that. So I have a question from Barry Doyle. Can you give details on which CRMs it integrates with? So at the moment, you have the schema provided, and so because they're all feature services, they have REST endpoints, and you can integrate them that way. So they're integrated through the schema. So you have to look into that integration. So if you want to have a chat about that, you can get in touch with Dermot or myself, and we can talk further about it. I have another question then. How good is the Navigator app in Ireland, especially in rural areas? So the Navigator app is, you can download basically all of Ireland and the navigation that it uses. So for rural areas, it should, you're downloading it, so you'll have it for use offline. So it should be pretty good in terms of its navigation. I have another question then. Assigning large amounts of tasks, is it possible to automate, example to survey 9,000 streetlights? So again, you can, because it's a REST endpoint, you can bulk upload points into that particular feature service, and they'll display in the app. So I actually have a script that I run, and it adds in. So you could have it set up to look at a CSV and push all those into that particular feature class. So if you have 9,000 points to put in there, you can do that. I have another question then. What costs are involved for workforce on every worker's phone using Esri Cloud for data and Server 123? Okay, so to use Workforce, it's at the moment it just uses your ArcGIS Online named user, so you don't need any additional. There's no additional cost to it, but everyone who uses the app needs a named user. Does the app work in offline mode? For example, if I want to use Navigator and Survey 123 within Workforce when completing a project offline, will it still work? So because it's a new app, it hasn't quite got offline capabilities yet, but it is something that's been put in the roadmap, and we would hope to have that within the next couple of months. I can't give a time scale on that at the moment. Then I have another question. Am I right in saying that where you link out to Survey 123 or Collector to complete a survey, you will end up with two features, one identifying the assignment in Workforce and one being the completed Survey 123 survey? Does it maintain a link between these? So yeah, you're right. For each, you basically have an assignments feature service, and then you can go into that via Collector, or you can open Survey 123 or Collector then from Workforce. There's no link at the moment between those. What happens if you don't have 3D connectivity? So it just goes into offline mode, but you can't actually do anything. So at the moment, offline mode isn't supported, but that is something that's being worked on. Is there integration with Portal now or in the future? So I believe Portal integration is coming with 10.4.1. So 10.4 has just been released, and I think they're aiming to have it in Portal at 10.4.1. And then when will Navigator be available on Android? I'm not sure what I'm not sure what the time scale is there, but I can have a look into it and let you know. So they're all the questions that I've had in anyway. Let me just have a quick look in chat. Yeah, that seems to be everything. Now I'll answer all these questions in an email I sent. Excuse me. I'll answer all these questions in an email I send out later today or tomorrow. So I can give you further details on those and where you can find out more about Workforce. Okay. So we have a product overview site at esri-ireland.ie/workforce. So you can have a look there if you want to find out more about it. Then there's a website where you can sign up to use Workforce, and I've also provided the sign-in page for Workforce. There's also a user form, so if you have any feedback, please use those forms, or of course get in touch with us. So that pretty much completes this webinar. Our next webinar will take place on the 5th of April, and it will run through ArcGIS Pro, which I'm sure a lot of people are quite interested in. So thanks for joining us today, and speak to you all soon.